business of basketball. You're dealing with trades, unexpected, big name players switching teams. Uh, that's the business of basketball in a nutshell. Uh, amongst other things, but that's really what you know. It comes down to at the end of the day is that it doesn't really matter, how good of a player you are. You can be dealt to another program in the blink of an eye, and sometimes it benefits the player, you know, and other times it sends a player closer to his way out, and it's a business, and that's why me personally, it's always been hard for me to look at basketball from a fan, from like franchises. Like I'm a fan. I mean, of course, Denver, as you see on my hat, like I'm from there. So, but any team besides that, it's always been difficult becoming a fan of a team. And even if you're from somewhere, the players you might see one day, not see the next, and so it's a weird kind of thing. But if you really love the logo for a city or a place, then yeah, you'll be loyal to that. But other than that, it's kind of hard to become a fan of a team. Really, you're a fan of players. That's the reality of it. Got to be fans of players. That way, you can follow that player pretty much wherever he goes. But yeah, Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers. It shocked everybody. I thought it was fake when I first seen it. Fake news, and then to find out it was real, it was like, wow, it just didn't really seem to be. Luka didn't seem like a guy that was going to be traded, and so it'll be interesting to see kind of inside of the locker room when some of the facts start coming out about what went into it. It'll be interesting to hear and see some of those things. But right now, I think a lot of people just don't know. It was done before. I think you got to do these trades anyway before All-Star break. So obviously, it was something that happened pretty quickly before the break. They got it done. They did get sufficient value. Anthony Davis. A lot of times you see big names gone. It's because either they want it out, and then sometimes you don't see them get anything back. Kind of like if you're looking at Jimmy Butler in Miami situation, he wants out. A lot of times players like James Harden a lot of times want it out, and when a player wants out, it's difficult to get adequate value back, because the player just wants to be gone. And so if everybody knows that player wants to be gone, then why would they need to trade a franchise guy for that? So it's kind of like you get what you can, maybe some draft picks, some other guys. But in this case, Dallas got back, a pretty big name as well, and Anthony Davis. So you can't really say they lost the trade. Plus, there's a lot of other pieces that came with these. Those are obviously the two big names. So you got to look more into it to see who kind of won on the trade. And without any further ado, I guess to discuss who won, in my opinion, on that trade, without knowing the other pieces and the schematics of the pieces, I'd have to say that I'd say Lakers won. I think Luka's a little younger, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he's a little younger, maybe by a couple years. Maybe even 2 or 3 years younger. He's 25 years old. I'm not sure how old AD is. Might be pushing 30. A lot of things a lot of people don't know. Luka was battling some injuries this year. They say, oh, he went to the finals last year. Why is he getting traded? I can't say off the court why anything I can think of, but I do know that he was down he went down a couple times this year. He was out for some extended games, two different stints, freak accidents, and it could be, I keep telling people I think it might have been insurance on Dallas's end. Plus, of course, with them having Kyrie, wanting to maybe give Kyrie a little more freedom of the franchise, just because he's actually in better shape. Kyrie Irving's in better shape. He takes real good care of his body. Rarely see him injured. Um, Volume shooter. Luka and Kyrie play the same way. I was very surprised to see um, Luka and Kyrie playing well together. They made it to the finals together. I was surprised to see that type of chemistry develop between those two guys, being that they were the same kind of players. But they made it work. But for that to work over the long run, I'm not sure that that's something that was a formula Dallas really believed in. You see, they didn't win the finals; they just got there. And in my opinion, really, to be honest, Denver really should have been there. They should have been in the finals. Again, Minnesota upset Denver. Um, that to me was the upset of the playoffs, which allowed Dallas to basically, enter into the finals. But um, all that said, we just got to wait and see. We got to wait and see what some of these details were um, off the court, right? Because it may have been 100% off the court reasons, or maybe 80% off the court. It could have been 80% on the court, maybe 20%, 25% on the court or off the court. Either way, but just me looking at it doesn't all the way surprise me. Like I say, based on Luka, he has appeared out of shape. To me, um, he's been criticized for not playing a lot of defense. Of course, he gets his numbers. But I keep telling you guys, basketball is more than just one-on-one. So you got to be productive. Your team's got to be productive. You're going to be handling the ball at a high rate. It's got to result in the other three or four players being productive as well. They're getting paid a lot of money too, and obviously a GM and a coach is going to want to see progress from the other parts of the roster as well, not just one player who's handling the ball. So, and I'm not really sure if Luka made the players better. Yeah, he would make pretty next level passes at times, but through the course of a game, I'm just not sure his facilitating was resulting in the type of progress with the other team and with with his teammates. And so I think a lot of that could have to do with it. As far as the Lakers and their decision to bring in Luka, obviously, Lakers always need a Showtime name. They need a Showtime name, and that's just their brand. That's their brand. That's their market. That's just what they have to have. Obviously, it's insurance. LeBron James at his age, at some point, insurance has to bring in another superstar, and I just think they felt like Anthony Davis wasn't that guy. He had been there for some years now. I think, like I said, I think the injuries played a big part of them moving on from Anthony Davis being that guy. You mix the two together. I think that's what led to it. Probably saved. I don't want to say saved money. I think Dallas might have saved some money from having to pay Luka his huge big payday, because Lord knows what his contract, the renewal contract, would have needed to be in Dallas. So I think it was just a lot of business, lot of business things, not necessarily maybe on the court stuff, but in the bank account, the front office, front office finances. I think had a lot to do with what we're seeing here. Not just a lot of a mixture of a lot of little things. And then so that's that part. We'll just talk about it, follow it a little closer. But yeah, my initial reaction as far as that whole thing, I kind of broke that down to you guys. I think the Lakers win in the trade because Luka's an amazing talent, probably one of the best young superstars in the league. A lot of people were talking about him and Jokic playing together. That obviously isn't going to happen now. But Lakers, I think it's good for Luka and his brand. I know it set him back mentally because he didn't expect the trade, but going forward in the future, he's young enough to get over that. And I think being in a big market like LA is going to do well for his brand. He's a great Showtime player. He's very exciting. I think it's going to be good for his future. Keep your chin up, keep your head up, young gunner. It's going to be fine. You're going to bring I think be an upgrade to LA. And then for while it's there, we're gonna be able to see two great players play together. It's gonna be amazing. Luka and LeBron. I think that kind of definitely opens up some championship talks if he's coming in this year. Not really sure how they were even able to do that financially, but I guess getting rid of AD allowed it to happen, and some other pieces. So obviously Luka and LeBron aren't going to have a bunch of years together, but we're going to have some fun seeing those two superstars. It's going to be dangerous. I think they obviously become dangerous to any team. You just got to figure out, you got that kind of talent, just figure out some height to put with them to rebound and do all the cleanup stuff, and there you go. You got a good team there. I'm excited. I think I'm a fan. I'm a fan of both players. I'm a fan of LeBron. I'm a fan of Luka. So, you know, I'm excited for LA. You know, not a Laker fan, but I think I might need to be excited about what they have there now. We'll just say that. For this year, I'm a big Luka fan, big LeBron fan. So, obviously, you know, besides when they play Denver, I'll be rooting for LA. Hopefully LeBron can get another championship. I think that's something that now might happen. You know, Luka can help that possibility if he can stay healthy, which he will. You know, I think he's going to take this, motivate himself through getting traded unexpectedly. A lot of guys dig in. So, like I said, he usually goes up this way or goes down that way after trades. And for Luka at his age, hopefully he goes this way. Anyways, NBA training him out. Oh yeah, by the way too, something similar happened with me. For those who follow my career, Kenny Kelly, been playing semi-pro for about 7 years on a team that's pretty much been building for 7 years actually, and it was difficult this year because, you know, 41 years old, and just the rate of progress and development is just not really fitting my timeline. So anyway, you know, ended up getting picked up by a playoff-bound, traditionally, you know, solid, successful team, and it was due to, you know, my performances when I played this year against that team, you know, and so that's amazing for my story, to you know, play for one of the most successful ABA teams in the history of the ABA. You know, it's they got a coach that's very, very experienced in the game of basketball, plays a professional type of game, coaches a professional type of way, recruits a professional type of way, with a team full of primarily bigs, that hangs their hat on having, you know, a lot of bigs, talented bigs, which they have now. We have a chance to win the championship in the ABA, actually, with the type of talent that's being assembled. And according to him, I'm a piece of that. You know, I'm just glad to be there. Actually, I'm just glad to be there, to have been recognized for the work that I've done, and for it to be recognized with, you know, being you know, in the playoffs. This will be the first year, actually, to be honest, that I'll be in the playoffs in the ABA. So I feel good about that, and I think, you know, it's just gonna be good for the story. I'm gonna be able to document a lot from, you know, last year, going to college, trying to get my coaching stuff going, doing the coaching stuff and finalizing my career, putting some decorations on my career and my resume. Obviously is a major thing, to be able to do still at this age, to be able to put some more accomplishments on my story. And so that happened basically the same day that Luka Doncic got traded for Anthony Davis. So actually at Clayton State University was our home venue. They were talking about that. They were talking about that, about the trade, and me coming in to the Grizzlies program, you know, a new fan base. They embraced me pretty much with open arms. Obviously, still a lot of contractual things that need to be sorted out, but it's been confirmed. I got a release from my owner, Coach Presley. So, you know, and, you know, got a lot of love for him. You know, he's somebody that, you know, was around the whole time I was in the ABA, the whole 7 years. So obviously that's a family there that'll always be a relationship, that'll always be a good one. It was just kind of time to move on. A lot of those guys that were there, younger guys, felt threatened by my productivity, and it became a cancerous locker room, so to speak, which, you know, I didn't think there was anything I was going to be able to do about that, but, you know, my talent was recognized, even though I wasn't even getting a lot of games I wasn't even getting the minutes. You know, to be honest, I wasn't getting minutes that you would think I'd get based on my productivity. But the time I was out there, I took advantage of the time I was out there, and your talent will always show. You know, and other teams will have the ability to recognize what you're doing if you can go out there and do it against them. And that's kind of always the thing I tell people: just be professional, keep your head together, and when you do get out there, just play your game. Um, you know, and think good things will happen. So stay tuned, man. Just definitely lock in the NBA training because I'm training everything. This is basketball training, not just skills. It's training about the knowledge of the game, the spirit of the game, the principle of the game, the business of the game, the strategy of the game, the mental focus of the game, the goods, the bads, the uglies, the truth, the unscripted truth about it, the grind, the struggle, the process, the advantages, the all that good stuff that basketball provides, the competitive nature that it is. You get that covered in NBA training, and you get a virtual example of a person who's been successful, who's gone through ups and downs, who's still doing this at like LeBron at the age of 41. You know, that's another thing that makes it real similar. Even though LeBron didn't get traded, but you know, people are gonna talk about LeBron. Anytime talking about the Lakers, they're gonna talk about LeBron. So, and that's kind of what, just for y'all to know, I kind of align myself with LeBron. Like, is LeBron still playing? Then I'm still play. You know, even though I'm like a year older than LeBron, but still, he's got the big doctors. He's got all the money to take care of all his body and everything like that. Where me, I'm just out here kind of thugging it and been just making it happen. You know, kind of under the table, under the ground. You know, the street way, but still playing basically semi-pro ball in a professional way. Listen, I can train you guys how to be successful. Played the 3 different Division I schools, which probably, I don't know, nowadays it's normal, but in my era, early 2000s, you don't see that. You don't see that. And I was a pioneer in a lot of ways. Now the results show, just added to the story, getting picked up by the Georgia Grizzlies. So stay tuned, man. Stay tuned for this playoff push. And then when the season's over, I'll be able to lock a lot more back into this training stuff. But yeah, Luka Doncic trade, Anthony Davis, that was major news. That was my run overview of it. Feel free to comment, ask questions, give your opinions on what y'all think about the trade in any capacity, whatever comes to mind. Let's talk about it. Anyway, Coach Kelly, Kenny Kelly here, man. Stay tuned, get better, lock in, and let's work.